This is Brother Cornell West, and it has been my blessing and joy to be in such high quality conversation with Brother Anthony Parker of Keeping It Honest. Make sure you never miss his show.
And welcome back again. Yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander of Keeping It Honest. We don't just keep it real, we don't just keep it simple. We, of course, together, kids, we keep it honest. If you have any questions or comments, you can email yours truly. It's parkerman2011 at gmail.com, parkerman2011 at gmail.com. If you'd like to leave a voice message or text me, at telephone numbers 216-702-3718, 216-702-3718. We thank you for watching our show. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like us. And of course, don't forget to share. That's what keeps us going. So, we like things in a Parker twist. We try to get the left side, try to get the right side. And at the end, hopefully you decide. You may not like what we give you, but we've given you the truth. So this election season coming up, it is very crazy. That debate, I don't know how many people saw it. Of course, you can't forget that infamous debate, Donald Trump, Biden, or President Joe Biden. And the one thing that I've seen, which is kind of gets me, doing streaming is different from doing mainstream. My background's in mainstream media, then I went to streaming. Mainstream, they tend to slant things. Streaming, they kind of tell you the truth. You still got to be careful who you watch or listen to with any type of media. I said use it as a cliff notes. You read the stories, you see the stories, you hear the stories, but then go back and check for yourself to make sure it's legitimate. So everybody's talking about this debate. Some people said Trump won it. Some people saying that Biden won it. Some Democrats, most of them are saying Biden just had an off day. Some people said that Trump lied through the whole thing. And they're saying, would you rather have a person that stumbles every now and then, or would you rather have a liar in office? We're going to be talking about this on different shows because this is crazy. So having Biden in front of everybody, flubbing his words, some people say, well, sabotage. That the Democrats knew that he's not really the best person for this job. And they put him out there anyway, just to kind of save face and make the media say, look, we got to deal with this now. Whose fault is this that President Biden is looking kind of bad in front of the American public, and not just the American public, but the whole world? People are looking at him. And whether you think whoever you want, the countries that don't like America may say, you know what? Do we want a strong president, or do we want one who sometimes looks like they're absent-minded? But we're going to go for the weaker one because then we can be the superior country. And they don't want to deal with, well, what would happen if Joe had to drop out? They're saying he's not going to drop out. But can you see President Biden being in there 4 more years, or can you see Donald Trump being in there 4 more years? He says what he's going to do, Donald Trump, when he gets back in office. And some say it's kind of like a retaliatory situation for everybody. Some people are scared, some people are happy. So it's interesting because after the first debate that Joe Biden, President Biden, and Donald Trump did, everybody was up in arms talking about President Biden. The media said now he has to go. New York Times says he should go before he even finishes office. But one thing that people aren't talking about, the next day after that debate, he had a rally in North Carolina. And when you see him in this rally, now this is the next day, you're going to say that's not the same person that did that debate. Because at this rally, he was full of energy. Um, he seemed not to stumble on too many things, and he looked like the Joe Biden from 4 years ago. So, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this because mainstream media isn't putting it out there, but we're going to put it out there. We're going to let you see this rally that he did, okay? And you let me know if he looks like, wow, the Joe Biden of old, because we see the picture there. He's got the no tie on. He's looking kind of defiant. And you're going to hear a guy that was really ticked off at the night before. He said, yeah, I made a couple mistakes. Some people are saying even that maybe these two people, Joe Biden, President Biden, and Donald Trump, should get drug tests. Because how can you come from doing a debate where some people say it was the worst debate ever to the next day being at a rally and you are 100% different than you were the night before. But the media is not addressing this rally, so we're going to show this rally. And remember, you're watching, keeping it honest. We don't just keep it real. We don't just keep it simple. We keep it honest. This is Joe Biden. He's speaking the day after that debate in North Carolina. Let's check it out together.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm here in North Carolina for one reason. Because I intend to win this state in November. You're going to see that. I think we are. Roy's right. We win here, we win the election. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to stand up for the women of America. We're going to restore Roe v. Wade from all the land. We're going to stand up for the right to vote. We're going to stand up for Medicare and Social Security. We're going to fight for child care, paid leave, and elder care. We're going to keep lowering the cost of prescription drugs, not just for seniors, but for every single American. We're going to keep protecting the Affordable Care Act, which is why more than 40 million Americans have health insurance today. We're going to protect our children and get the weapons of war off our streets. We're going to provide clean drinking water, affordable high-speed internet, quality education for every child in America. We're going to secure our border and protect legal immigration. And unlike the other guy, we're going to stand up to dictators like Putin, because America bows to no one ever. Folks, and we're going to keep dealing with the climate crisis.
So now, as you're watching that, it's his stump speech. But if you can compare this Biden to the Biden you saw at that debate, which one would you really like to have for 4 more years?
Look, more than anything, we're going to preserve, protect, and defend our democracy. There's more than anything else. That is what is at stake in America this election. Your freedom, your democracy. America itself is at stake. Now, folks, I don't know what you did last night, but I had 90 minutes of stage debating the guy who has the morals of an alley cat. Did you see Trump last night?
Hey, everybody. There is a big fundraising deadline coming up, and there won't be too many more of them between now and Election Day on November 5th. These deadlines get a lot of hype.
So there you go. Some people say that he's the puppet master behind Joe Biden. And if you remember, he had said, as far as a third term, he would only do a third term if he could be at his house chilling and maybe, excuse me, phoning everything in. So some people said throughout these past couple of years that it's been him who's been president because he's been phoning it in to Joe Biden to try to keep the world going under Obama's supposedly third term.
My guess, he said, I mean it sincerely, a new record for the most lies told in a single debate. He lied about the great economy he created. He lied about the pandemic he botched, killing millions of people. He closed businesses. He closed schools, losing their homes, people all over this country. America was flat on its back. So I told Trump that it was just one of two presidents in American history who left office with fewer jobs than he started. Herbert Hoover was the other one. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump. And then he lied about how great he was for veterans. But then I told him how he had called the veterans and given their lives in the country in World War I and refused to go to the grave sites. He called them suckers and losers. He tried to deny it. But let me ask you, are you going to believe a four-star Marine general, his own former chief of staff, John Kelly, who said he said that? Or disgraced defeating a lying Donald Trump? My son was one of those people, not a war woman in the debate. Folks, look, how about the fact that 44
So again, look at this now, totally different. President Biden compared to that night before. You look at him right here. Is he adequately able to debate Donald Trump again? So if he debates Donald Trump and he's like this, and some people that debate said that Trump had about 30 lies, and the main thing that Biden did was not talk good. If he's talking good now, are you ready to give him 4 more years?
How about the fact? That's okay. How about the fact that 40 out of his 44 top advisors, including the vice president, aren't supporting him this time around? The people who know him best, 40 of them said, I will not support the man I work for this time around. It tells you a lot about the person who knows him. Look, he lied about how great he was on crime. I had to remind him that he oversaw a record increase in murder rates in 2020. On my watch, violent crime has hit a 50-year low. There's more to do with 50-year low. And then I pointed out that the only convicted criminal on the stage last night was Donald Trump. When I thought about his 34 felony convictions, his sexual assault on a woman in a public place, his being fined $400 million for business fraud, I thought to myself, Donald Trump isn't just a convicted felon. Donald Trump is a one-man crime wave. He's got more trials. He's got more trials coming up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Time for that. Lock him up. Lock him up. Look, the thing that bothers me maybe most about him, he has no respect for women or the law. And then his biggest lie, he lied about how he had nothing to do with the insurrection of January 6th. We all saw with our own eyes. We watched it on television. We saw thousands in this direction attack the Capitol. We saw police being attacked, the Capitol being ransacked, the mob hunting for Speaker Pelosi, gallows literally set up for Mike Pence. And then he told them as he sat in the dining room, the private dining room, one door off my Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching the TV. He did not a single thing to stop it. Nothing at all. And now he wants to pardon all those convicted criminals.
And you know what's interesting about that? We all saw that. Some people think it was a raid at the Capitol. Other people think it's visitors. So where former President Trump said that he would pardon these people that went to jail, there were hundreds. If you look at your own eyes, when they were climbing up the Capitol, were they going there to get autographs or were they going there to cause trouble? But people, I'm telling you, you got to keep up what's happening in the news. The Supreme Court recently has found a loophole that states these people that are in jail now for this insurrection, some are in there for years, that there's a loophole in one of the rulings where they may be able to be released now. We're going to keep up with that. I'm giving you a little bit of information on that, but look it up. So instead of lock it up, look it up, so everybody be on the same page, because some of these people that went to jail for this supposed insurrection, in some people's eyes, might be able to be free. And this has nothing to do with Donald Trump's power, but the Supreme Court looking and finding a loophole where some of these people that were storming the Capitol may be released. Check it out.
But folks, for all his lies, we learned some important truths about Donald Trump last night.
To be a part of Team USA means everything to me. The sacrifice, the tears, the excitement.
And you're watching, of course, Keeping It Honest with yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander.
He's still proud of being the person who killed Roe v. Wade. We learned he's still proud about the pain and cruelties inflicted on America's women. We learned he still believes that politicians, not doctors and women, should make decisions about a woman's health. We learned that if he's elected again and the MAGA Republicans pass a national ban on abortion, he will sign it. Donald Trump says he thinks overturning Roe v. Wade was a beautiful thing. I think it was a nightmare. No, I really mean it, a nightmare. And I made it clear again last night that you elect me and Kamala, you give us a Democratic Congress, we will make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again.
And is that a sticking point for Democrats and Republicans, Roe v. Wade? It is. Whether you're for it or against it will depend on who you elect as the next president of the United States.
He continued to lie. He said, I quadruple taxes. Where the hell is he? This is a slide. I didn't rate anyone, and I won't in my second term either. We learned that Trump, who had the largest deficit of any president in 4 years because of a $2 trillion tax cut to the super wealthy, we learned that Trump wants to give another giant tax cut for the very wealthy and the biggest corporations. This time, $5 trillion, not a joke, $5 trillion. To pay for it, he's going to cut Medicare and Social Security. He'll cut health care. He'll do it all with millions of working middle-class Americans all pay for another tax cut for the very wealthy. Then, to add insult to injury, he wants to raise taxes on the average family $2,500 a year. What amounts to a new 10% sales tax on all products imported in America. That's his new plan for food, coffee, candy bars, and so much more. it's going to raise the tax on the average family $2,500 a year. The most dangerous thing, though, we learned that Donald Trump will not respect this year's election outcome. He's still not respecting the last time out. Well, think about it. Every court in Nan ruled that it was a fair election. He's still denying it, still telling lies. 3 times, Trump was asked last night by the moderators, would he respect the election results if he lost this time? 3 times he refused to answer. 3 times. Folks, Donald Trump refused to accept the results of 2020. We all saw what happened on January the 6th. It's a direct consequence of that. It was an international embarrassment. By the way, as I go to these international meetings, I know every major world leader, and I live it because I've been around, as you might have noticed. But they asked me, did he really mean this? Was this real? It caused a constitutional crisis and international embarrassment. Now, Trump is making it clear that if he doesn't win this time, there will be, in his words, bloodshed. No president has ever said anything like that. No president. His words, not mine. We're going to let Donald Trump attack our democracy again? I don't think so. Folks,
So it is very interesting. They did ask Donald Trump 3 times, would he respect the results of the election? And he never really answered it. And he's never conceded the last election, which was 2020, that President Biden won years ago. This happened a couple other times when people are running for president and they kind of lose, but they don't want to give in, but they eventually give in. I think it was year 2000 when Al Gore lost against President Bush the first, and it was dealing with Florida and Chad votes. Look that up. After the election, Al Gore did not concede because he felt that there was some inconsistency in this election. And it took some time, excuse me, but then he eventually conceded. That was in 2000. Then in 2016, of course, with Donald Trump and, wow, I just forgot her name, Mrs. Clinton, she didn't concede for a while because she felt the election was hers. Hillary Clinton, I'm talking about, she ran against Donald Trump. So she didn't concede, but then she eventually did. And then he had Donald Trump in 2020. He lost, but in his eyes, and a lot of Republicans, they didn't lose. It was, cheating. Years later, he still doesn't feel that he lost. He still hasn't conceded. So here's a guy that's running for president that didn't concede that he lost the last election. So that's what they're asking Donald Trump. If you lose, are you going to concede? And people said, well, you know what? They haven't asked the Democrats that either. So there's a lot of Republicans that feel that this last election with Joe Biden in office should have been Donald Trump's second term. And those are the people that are going to try to give him the second one coming up. 4 more years for Donald or 4 more years for Biden. And you're watching, Keeping It Honest. Yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander, as we show you what nobody has really shown you, Biden's campaign rally the day after that really bad debate that he did. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me, parkerman2011@gmail.com, parkerman2011@gmail.com. You can text me, 216-702-3718, 216-702-3718. If you notice, compare the debate to that next day, this rally, totally 2 different Joe Bidens. 4 more years would be the question for which Biden.
come a long way from the mess that Donald Trump left us. We came out of the pandemic. We're a long way from what Donald Trump telling us to inject bleach in our skin. That COVID is not that dangerous. Today, we have the strongest economy in the world without exception. 15 million new jobs. 800,000 manufacturing jobs. Unemployment under 4% for a record 2 years in a row. Historic Black and Hispanic unemployment down. Historic creation of small businesses in Black and all communities across the nation, particularly in rural areas. Historic economic growth. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3% and is still going down. I know we have more to do to get prices down. We have to take on corporate greed. We're making twice the profit they were before the pandemic. We got to make housing more affordable. Provide child care. Make the tax code fair. 16 Nobel winners of the Nobel Prize have looked at my economic plan this week. They've issued a report. And Trump's plan. Here's what they concluded. They said that my plan would continue to grow the economy and bring down inflation. 16 Nobel laureates. Now, Trump's plan would send the nation into recession and inflation soaring through the roof. Don't take my word for it. Folks, let me close with this. I know I'm a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know.
And that's the Biden smile that everybody loves, that confidence and that all shuckness. I'm just trying to do my darndest to make this country great again. That's what people love about Biden.
Well, I don't. Folks, I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to.
The Patriot Power Generator 2000X is only 18 inches long, 13 inches wide, and 11.
I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know like millions of Americans know. When you get knocked down, you get back up.
And look at that. He's saying what every American feels. And if you watch the debate again, I'm going to tell you, he was knocked down. And he is trying his hardest to get back up. So we're going to give him 4 more years because he's trying his hardest because he doesn't want to let go of this job. We don't know if it's power. We don't know if it's passion. I can tell you, though, I believe from his wife, she likes the power. I think he loves the passion.
I know what it took to take our economy to the depths of the pandemic to where it is today, the strongest economy in the world. I know what it'll take to bring this economy to everybody. I know what it'll take to rally the world to stand up against Putin and defend freedom, not yield to him. And I know what it'll take to keep the world safe and free for the years ahead. Folks, I give you my word as a Biden, I would not be running again if I didn't believe with all my heart and soul I can do this job. Because quite frankly, the stakes are too high. The stakes are too high.
Now, where have we heard the yes, you can from? Let's go back about 10 years, maybe 12 years. President Obama, yes, we can. I bet you President Obama, who's watching that rally, probably had his thumbs up saying, go, Joe.
Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat for everything America stands for. Look, he doesn't understand what I think all of you do. America is the finest and most unique nation in the world. We're the only nation in the world, and I mean this sincerely, it's a fact statement, not a hyperbolic statement, it's fact. We're the only nation in the world built on an idea. All the nations built on ethnicity, geography, and other religion, but we're built on an idea that we're all created equal. We deserve to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up, and I'll be damned in the year 2024, just 2 years before the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence, that I'll let Donald Trump walk away from it. I give you my word. I give you my word as a Biden. We're still a nation. I believe we're still a nation that believes in honesty and decency and treating people with respect. I still believe we're a nation that gives everyone a fair shot and leaves nobody behind. We're still a nation that gives hate no safe harbor. And we're still the beacon to the world. We can never give up what makes America, America. Donald Trump is motivated by revenge and retribution. Well, revenge and retribution never built a damn thing. You and I, we Americans, are a nation of hope, optimism, and possibilities. That's what always built America. And that's going to continue to build America today. The choice in this election is simple. Donald Trump will destroy our democracy. I will defend it. So, folks, are you with me? Donald Trump's the first president I've heard of that stood up there running for president, having been one term, saying America's a failing nation. Where the hell does he think he is? I'm serious. Failing. I don't know if the president wouldn't trade places with America in a heartbeat. He's dead wrong. America's not a losing nation. America's winning. As I stand here today, I can honestly say I've never been more optimistic about America's future in my whole career. We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity, nothing when we act together. We've got it. So may God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Let's go get them, North Carolina.
Right. Everybody. President Joe Biden. Running for your local United States of America. So, I'll put this in. One of the things I don't like, well, I'm not a fan of, which I think is part of the problem, is a person to his left, Mrs. Biden. So my things are, if you've seen Joe go through some things the past couple of months, and it looks like he's wavering, has anybody sat down and really talked to Joe and said, hey, Joe, maybe you might have to think about stepping down? I have never seen Jill Biden out there in the media promoting her husband as much as I've seen anybody. She is technically walking him, holding his hand, leading him. And the part of me feels that where he may be doing things for his country, she's doing it for the power. Because at the end of the day, especially with that debate, when people have said, oh, he just stumbled, he didn't stumble, he fell in that debate. And even Vice President Kamala, saying that he just had a bad day. And Anderson Cooper, who I liked, asked Vice President Harris, look, he ran against this guy 4 years ago. Has he changed since then? And she pretty much pivoted and said, well, our options are we either vote for Joe Biden or we vote for a crook. But she never answered the question. So my thing is, wow, you have his wife, Jill. And to me, she's looking bad in the media because she's out there really promoting him and not even saying if anything is wrong when there are evidently something's wrong. But you saw him in his rally the day after that debate, two different Joe Bidens. Which one is America voting for? Are we voting for that robust man we just saw, or we're voting for the one that really couldn't string words? And Donald Trump's best lines was, I didn't even know what he said. I don't even think he knows what he said. Very funny. But we're at this thing now where maybe, unfortunately, young or old, people go through things and it affects them. And maybe Joe Biden's at a stage now where it's affecting him. Is he capable of being a president for 4 more years? That is the biggest thing. You have that option of wondering if he's capable of being president, or do you put Donald Trump in, who if he's president, he said he's going to retaliate against people that have kind of, done him harm and done the country harm and everything. But if you remember the last election, it was almost split 50-50. So is it going to be a landslide after that debate? Did people say, hey, we're going to pivot now and go to Trump? Or is it most people say, we've already had who we want? We want Donald, we want Biden. But if Biden is sick for the future of this country, do you say, hey, I'm going to step down? And if it's coming to that, what will it take? But then you have this image, which I just showed you, which the media is not talking about, as far as Biden. And he looked good. So where do we go from here? Let's stay tuned. Speaking of, you've been tuning into Keeping It Honest of yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander. As we talked about Biden, President Biden, and where do we go from here? Showing you stuff that other media doesn't show you. That's what we do. Email address is parkerman2011@gmail.com, parkerman2011@gmail.com. Telephone number is 216-702-3718, 216-702-3718. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the share button, the like button. I thank you for supporting us. We could not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. And then go to our Patreon page. And this page, it's kind of like a PBS. It's kind of like a fundraising page, like you do on PBS. You give money, you contribute money to keep shows going or to improve the quality of it. As you see, we try to do the best with what we have. And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. So you can go up to Patreon, get on that page. We have 3 tiers. You can pick which tier you want to contribute and then become a part of our family, because you're supporting us now, so you already are. So I thank you. Keep your head up, never look down, always believe in yourself, and therein will lie your answer. I'm Anthony Parker. We don't just keep it simple. We don't just keep it real. We keep it honest. God bless.